All right, ladies and gentlemen and song designers, we're going to do part 4, add some drum machine and maybe a little cowbell while we're at it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to our project and we're going to go to add track and we're going to add a drum machine, and I don't know what we're going to do. I'm going to just click close. Okay, and so it added stuff. So what you can do is you can click right there and you can add stuff, or you can take away stuff, you can add stuff. So I want you to go ahead and just build up the drum machine, and so I'm going to close this, and then you can listen to it and see how it sounds. Okay, anyway, so you're going to build your own drum machine for a second. Let me do something here real quick. Okay, and then I want to know the difference between the stuff that you made versus the loops that you borrowed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to rename, and you're going to say something like, I made this drum machine. Anyway, so there you go. So add a really good drum machine to it. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some MIDI. Oh, add at least one drum machine track, name it I Did These Drums, or something to that effect, so I know that that's the one you did. So now we're going to add a MIDI track. So loops are recorded sound, right? So you guys know what that means. So in Audacity, you recorded sound and you saved it as an MP3, and you could play that sound on any computer, right? And you can use it in different projects as well. The reason I talk about loops is because we're going to use MIDIs, and they're not sound, they're not recorded sound. They're basically just recorded notes. You're just saying play this note, play this note, play this note, play this note, right? And so it's just the information of what note to play, and then the computer can take those notes and it can play it on drums or pianos, on a keyboard, on guitar. So you can play that same sound with a piano. You can download, and you can also get different instruments. Let's say, like, oh, if you're really into this and you're doing music, you're like, oh, I really want like a funky sounding guitar. Well, you could download a funky sounding guitar, and then that same MIDI that you recorded, you could play with like any different guitar sound you wanted. Okay, so what we're going to do is add. By the way, make sure you write down the stuff in red. I have no idea why that's red. That shouldn't be red. Another thing you could do is, let's say you wanted the Mario song. I can't remember how the Mario song goes, but let's say you loved Mario and you wanted to add that. You could search online and find the Mario MIDI, and you could totally add that to your project. In fact, I'll show you that in a second, how that would work. So what to add one good MIDI track in an instrument you like, and then name it I Did This MIDI. Let me show you how to add your own MIDI track. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to Add Tracks, and it's a virtual instrument. That's the MIDI track. Okay, and so what you can do is I'm going to go, first of all, I'm going to choose my instrument. So I'm going to go with a square lead. Okay. And then I'm going to go, instead, I'm going to go to MIDI editor, and I'm going to start playing notes. Okay, and then I'm going to shrink this down. Okay, and then I'm going to loop it around, and the timing might be bad, but at any rate, so this is obviously just doing it quick, so I just show you how to do it, but let's see how that sounds. Okay, so at any rate, that didn't sound great at all, but that's how you do it. So I'm not going to take the time to make it sound good, but let me just show you. Oh, actually, before we're done, let me go into this thing. So I'm going to double click on it, and what I could do is go to Instrument, and I could say, you know what, I didn't like that. I want to play that as a dirty legato saw. What is that? Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's play it now. See what that sounds like. That's, so now you can see what I'm saying. So you pick the notes, and then you can pick whatever instrument you want to play those notes. Okay. Um, let's see what's next. Okay, let me show you one. Let me show you one more thing here before I'm totally done. Okay, so what I've done is I went online. I'm not going to show you the whole step. You can ask about it. But I went online and I searched for MIDIs, and I found a song from Pink Floyd, "Have a Cigar." Okay, and so I downloaded that into my Assets My Song folder. Okay, and so basically somebody took a Pink Floyd song and they did all the different instruments for it in MIDI. And so what I'm going to do is I open a new project in BandLab, and so then I'm going to grab that MIDI file, and I dragged it into here, and you can see that one MIDI file did did guitars and drums and all kinds of different instruments. And so let me play that for you, what that sounds like, so you can see what if somebody. So you can see what it sounds like if somebody built a whole song with MIDI, and I don't know if it's good or not, but it can be a good base for something else you're doing. I don't know if you know that song or not, but that's basically captures a song. It doesn't sound great, but altogether, I mean, it sounds fine. But at any rate, one thing you could do is you could double click on each thing, and you could say, okay, I want that to be, you could go to instrument and say, instead of that bass, I want it to be a 12-string guitar, and then it's gonna sound totally different. So let's see what that sounds like now. I don't know if you'll notice the difference. Okay, at any rate, that's just some ideas that we have that you can do with MIDIs. Okay, and that's it for that. The next thing is we're going to add a voice or guitar. We'll go into that next. Thanks, guys.